Boom, 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 boom. I've been purposely avoiding drinking.
Really?
Oh, what's wrong?
Well, after what happened on Saturday, just for the record, we consumed an entire bottle of bourbon.
I saw the picture.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or should I say?
Yeah, but it was how many of you? There were 3 of you.
I had one pour of that.
Jeff had an 18-ounce pour. And
Right.
It was
but it's one. Just one.
It was about that.
it was a beefy pour.
It was a beefy pour. I had one.
And I had one beefy pour. And
that leaves one other person.
Chuck pounded the fuck out of that bottle. He pounded that bottle like Matt Gaetz to that 17-year-old.
Oh, really?
that too soon?
Yes, too soon.
God bless it.
So did Chuck? Did you guys all drive together?
Yeah, I drove
All right,
up
hold
there.
on a second. All right, so let's get this going. What is today's date? Today's the 19th, 18th?
Yes.
19th.
It's the 19th. It is Tuesday, November 19th, 1 week away from Thanksgiving.
Yes.
We got no producer. We got no guests. It's just us. We're just going to swing dicks in here by ourselves.
Oh, okay.
Well,
The
it's
helicopter it kind of a thing.
I mean, not really. Yeah, I'm fully dressed. Jeff, put your shorts back on.
This will be a first time.
You know, we've had a lot of guests on lately.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah,
It's nice to have just the 3 of us.
Yeah. And if we have any listeners out there that are an expert at the X32 Behringer soundboard, feel free to DM me. I mean, regarding, we have some technical questions. We
Whose
can
crotch is that up there?
It's I don't know. We're looking at the
It's like
screen.
very thick labia.
I've got Jesus.
It does protrude.
It's like a moose knuckle. What is? So I've got on my computer the screensaver. It kind of scrolls through a bunch of Star Wars pics. Dudes, I guess I'm Sean,
I'm Paul.
And I'm Jeff.
and we've got a jam-packed freaking show. We've been trying to get some of these topics up here for the longest period, and we've been having guests. We're enjoying it. The last we had the Boozy Baking Company, fantastic.
Right.
We had Jackie Mack, fantastic. We had the Celt. They were fantastic.
We had Larry as well.
We had Larry.
Yeah.
Larry.
Larry's always got great stories.
He does. Yeah. Bubbles.
Bubbles.
He seemed like that.
Well, that was
Yes.
your story, but yes.
That's
Yes, yes.
weird. All right. So, what say you guys? I mean, we have a new president. I think we talked about that, right?
Yeah, we went into on Larry's podcast. We went into actually it was the day after. It was that Wednesday after election, so we had all kinds of good stuff to say.
And surprisingly, we were able to go ahead and announce that he is the president. He
Yeah.
did so damn well.
I know before the election, I voiced my concern that we wouldn't even know until the end of the year.
Oh, I think
Just the way the previous elections have gone.
Yeah.
I was expecting a long, drawn-out court battle.
Yep, court battles.
And recounts. Now, Arizona, there's a couple states that took forever. California allows you a week to turn in your ballots.
It's still happening.
Yeah.
There's still 5 uncalled House races,
Yeah. And
which is ridiculous.
it is. It's actually
And then one of the ones in Pennsylvania where they have the actual the folks that are going against what their own state judges are saying.
Right.
You have to have XYZ to qualify as a vote. And they're like, yeah, a vote is a vote is a vote. If I don't see any signature on there, it's still a vote. They turned it in. They must be real. Come on, guys.
Where's this
It was
at?
worse than that.
It's in Pennsylvania.
It was worse than that.
was
She
like
was like, everybody violates the laws all the time. I'm going to do it too because I want the court to hear what I'm saying.
That's what she said.
Yeah. She was that blatant about it.
Is she from like Philadelphia or something like that?
I don't know where she's from.
Well, Pennsylvania in the Northeast. But
Yeah.
the thing is,
Yeah, she was brazen about it.
they're breaking the law. This is voter fraud. The FBI should be crawling up their ass with handcuffs right now.
Well, but did you hear how it ended?
Negative.
Oh, okay. Well, the Pennsylvania Supreme Court said, no, you will follow the law because that's what we said you were going to do. And then Shapiro, the governor, came out. Yeah, he came out and said, no, we're following the law because that's what Pennsylvania does. So they completely shut them down, said they're not going to count those illegal votes. And they officially basically told Casey to, go pound sand.
Well, good. Who was saying that I'm going to break the law because everyone else does it? Was it his campaign manager?
No, it was like an election official or a city council. It might have been a county election official, I think is what it was.
That's why I think the Democrats they've infested that whole level of government, and for some reason they have big sway in these elections.
Right.
This last time, I think, at least at the presidential level, Laura Trump did a really good job making sure the integrity was there. She had teams in every state.
Yeah, no, there was clearly a much better ground game on verifying to ensure election integrity. You're right.
Right. Yeah.
It just seemed like it.
Well, it's important, and I feel more comfortable about my vote going forward than I did after 2020. I didn't trust shit after 2020.
No, I didn't either.
And
yeah, but we're saying that, and we're saying that on this side. I do too, Jeff. I agree with you. It's just that, is it because we won that we feel like, this is the reason?
Well, the Dems are bitching now. Probably, you're probably right.
But, I mean, they're truly, look, everything's coming out now. The variance in the voting from Obama to...
Has there been any more
Trump,
explanation on that?
Yeah, how it jumped 10 to 20 million people voted and that didn't vote this time? I mean, come on. I mean,
I know.
Especially with all the illegal votes that are in there, that kind of that's so
shady.
Yeah, it's just, and I'm happy that the left is doing some full circle kind of stuff. Even like on this Fox News, the five, you've the left person that's typically on there, all of them have been gracious. They're kind of like, well, you know what, you guys won this time.
Yep.
And it's like they're graciously accepting defeat. And I think that's good. I think it's a good notion. But at the same time, I'm like, this is too easy.
Like, why are they not screaming more?
Why? There's something going on. There's something like, that's okay. It kind of reminds me.
Like they've got an ace up their sleeve.
Why don't you go to sleep now?
Right, right.
They got something going on, and I don't know what it is.
Well, it could be that. It could also be that some of them have recognized, our platform was screwed up.
It was a landslide. And I think most acknowledge that.
Yeah.
And it's kind of hard to gripe about some of these, ticky-tack, not ticky-tack, but,
Oi.
It was so close. Yeah. It was so, people arguing it was so close, it could have gone either way, but this one was a landslide. So when that happens, you cool your jets.
Yeah, they're still hanging on. Well, Trump didn't get the majority of the votes, over 50%. So they're hanging their hat on that.
Yeah, but there's also...
So it wasn't a mandate.
Well,
right.
Are you saying he didn't win the popular vote? Is that what they're saying?
No, he didn't get over 50% of the vote. That's what I don't know if that's true or not, but
that can't be true. He got 76 million and she got 60 something million.
There's other candidates.
Oh, I see. Okay, like the Green Party or Libertarian.
I don't know what percentage. This was on MSNBC or CNN that was spouting that off.
Whatever. Yes, that's just hanging on to something.
Yeah, I know. Well, I think some, like you said, I think the Jessica Tarlov and the Harold Ford Jr. Harold Ford has always been a level head, I think, as far as the lib goes. Jessica kind of goes off the rails every now and then, but even she's been gracious and kind of dialed back some of the rhetoric she was spouting pre-election.
Right. Then there's always Juan Williams. He's a mess.
Yeah, he's a mess. But
he hasn't been on there in a while.
Yeah, he hasn't been on the 5 for a long time. But then, did you see that Joe Scarborough and his wife went down and visited with Trump?
Yeah.
And Mar-a-Lago.
They were just like, it's like they're totally just eating crow now. I mean, just egg all over the face. Every kind of lame thing you could say. They're pieces of poop, and they're like, well, we've been told by the Democrats that we've got to move on and work with him. We're gonna.
Yeah, they're doing it because MSNBC's ratings have created worse than normal.
CNN's has as well.
Right. And so they're like, okay, well, we need to try something different.
Right. I know.
Or maybe they were told to by their.
I don't know because apparently there's some staffers who were extremely upset with them.
Right, but maybe the leader of MSNBC, I mean whoever it is, like the Bezos equivalent of the Washington Post,
right.
Maybe they, said, "No, you're doing this."
Well, I think until they get out of the opinion shows, they can still have those, but there needs to be chunks of just news.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Just an hour of like I don't think Brett Baer's. I've never watched him, but is he more just news instead of opinion?
He's the same thing.
Yeah, for the most part.
I think they're all kind of slanted.
Well, all the shows are opinion pieces for the most part.
Yeah,
now.
they are.
But I think you could have those, but then you need to have here's an hour that all you talk about.
Facts.
Yeah, news, facts,
they
facts,
used to have headline news with Robin Meade. Yeah, that was just
Robin Meade in the morning. God bless. She was so
beautiful,
bubbly.
She giggled. She'd be like all flirty and.
Was she the one that's the same height as Pete Sessions?
I don't recall.
That might have been a conversation.
I know we've talked about her. And it was either I can't even remember. I think it was her. It was a very strange fact.
Yeah, you totally like out of the blue, random, a total shot at Pete Sessions.
Yeah, Robin Meade she's pretty hot. You know, I don't know what she looks like now. In fact, do they even have a headline news anymore?
I don't.
CNN?
No, they don't. As far as I know.
Because you had Bob, the weather guy, and they had all the morning shows, or all shows. Period. They have wonderful banter that goes back and forth. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and it literally was news.
Right.
I mean, they just reported what happened. I
think you can have your opinion shows. I like how the 5 does it, where you have a counterpoint.
Right.
I think the other channels try to do that. I've seen some guy on, I can't remember the guy's name. He's a Republican strategist on CNN who basically
is he the Republican?
The white guy, yeah.
It's Scott Jennings.
Oh, is that who? Yeah,
yeah. And he's an ass kicker, man. In that forum.
Yeah. So I think he does good, but I really haven't seen anybody else as far as that guy. Yeah, Scott Jennings. Yeah, he's good. What did he do prior to this?
I don't know. I've been really impressed with him.
He was a Coca-Cola National Scholar.
Oh, there we go.
There you go.
Yes.
He could be the head of the Pentagon.
Oh, native to Dawson Springs, Kentucky.
Nice. He's George W. Bush appointed Jennings to the position of Special Assistant to the President and Deputy Director of Political Affairs. Well, that's a big title.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that wouldn't fit on your business card. Can you imagine that in the bottom of your email? God bless. Acronyms. That's how acronyms come about,
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, he's good. He's good on that show. I was going to ask you guys. So, I mean, how all this stuff about Pete Hegseth? Or Sedge?
Pete Hegseth, yes.
About him leading the
Department
Pentagon.
of Defense?
Yeah, leading the Pentagon. Yeah, Department of Defense. And then you got Gaetz for the AG. I mean, this is really controversial, right? I mean, there's been a lot of people, when they show the left's reaction to both of those picks in general.
Oh, yeah.
And Tulsi Gabbard.
And Tulsi.
Yeah. Oh, she's a Russian asset.
I know.
Yeah. But, they're all freaking out about those picks. Right.
Well, they're not I don't know about Gaetz, but they're not the establishment. I don't think Gaetz is the establishment either. He's a kind of a renegade.
Oh, he's total renegade
in the Congress.
So, is there actual video that they found of him doing something to some 17-year-old girl?
I don't know.
I don't know. So the story behind that is there was some congressional investigation or something, and they were going to release it. But then Trump tapped him for Attorney General, so he immediately resigned because you can't release those files if he's a private citizen. And apparently, you just told us right before we walked into the podcast room that somebody hacked into his files.
Yeah. I watched. I was up here editing, I think, and I was on YouTube as I was rendering, and a news story came up on MSNBC, and it said, Matt Gaetz's sealed investigation document has been hacked.
Jeez.
So I watched that. It didn't say too much. It said it was hacked. It didn't have too much information yet. Then I watched the Megyn Kelly one, and she went into some more detail on some of the stuff that's been released. So they have some depositions of some of the girls that got released.
Right.
And some other stuff. They didn't really get into that, but they really
pretty damning stuff, or what?
Well, it was a 17-year-old who said that they were at a party, and I don't remember where it was at. And she went outside of the house and was walking by the pool, and according to her, Matt Gaetz was banging her 17-year-old friend on a she called like a gaming table, like a poker table or a pool table or something like that.
Yeah.
And he was just going to town. And I think she, in their deposition, it was asked, did she know or did he know
she was 17?
That she was 17 at the time. Right. And she did say, I don't think he did.
Like Trump's pick for Attorney General, NBC News is now reporting that someone has hacked the file containing key information in an investigation on Florida's Matt Gaetz. West 2's Stuart Moore here with us in the studio now with these breaking details. And Stuart, this really comes at a really critical time in this nomination process.
That's right, Nancy. And that source tells NBC News the hacker gained access on Monday to a file containing the sworn depositions of 2 women involved in the Gaetz investigation. That file included the testimony of a woman who claimed she had sex with Gaetz when she was 17 years old at an invitation-only party in Orlando. It also includes the testimony of a second woman who says she witnessed that encounter. Attorney John Clune, who represents the woman who said she had sex with Gaetz when she was 17, told NBC News, quote, "We were informed last night by another law firm that an unauthorized user accessed a shared file with a number of confidential documents. The Justice Department investigated Gaetz.
So they didn't hack the government. They hacked the law firm that was representing these girls.
Yeah.
Is that what it was?
I guess.
That's crazy.
I don't know.
You know what? That law firm, they're
in trouble.
They're in big trouble. I mean, that's a big deal. Well, look, man, here's the thing. If she's 17 and in that state it's illegal to have sex with a 17-year-old, then hey, man, it is what it is. He needs to.
Yeah, but if she's representing herself as being of age, how the hell is he supposed to know, right?
I don't know. It's tough. Some of these girls that nowadays is kind of like, God bless. I mean, they're dressed for success. I mean, they show up and they're stunning, and you're like, how can you not be of age? I mean, here you are, you're drinking. Right. You've got all these telltale signs that you're of age. I mean,
yeah. You look older for sure. I mean,
it gets to the point where it's argumentative. At the end of the day, it's Matt's fault because at some point the conversation is being, how old are you? But is it really?
Right.
But at the same time, I'm like, fuck. It doesn't look good.
And then it doesn't look good. I mean, it does reflect on his character, like how many men his age are at parties just doing this, right?
This was in 2017.
Right. So I don't know how old that makes him, but I mean, certainly makes him an older dude to a younger woman, even if she's 18, 19. But here's the thing that's sick, though. I can see, I'm sure it was consensual, right? Obviously, we know it's consensual.
Correct.
There's no claims of rape. There's no claims of sexual assault. So it was consensual. And then the girlfriend sees it, and they talk afterwards, and they realize who he is, or they know who he is, and they're like, there's an opportunity to make some money here.
Yeah, well,
you know what I mean? It's shady,
and they may make some money at the same time. Did he really have sex with her?
Well, I mean, she was claiming that.
I mean, that's just it. I mean,
it's like part of the Me Too thing, right? I mean, it's you're guilty. You're guilty until proven innocent, and there's no way to prove you're innocent.
Right. That's kind of like Judge Kavanaugh.
Oh,
right.
This freaking blonde bitch comes out of the corner from 25 years ago. Is like, we were drinking a lot of beer, and and I was being passed around, and he was one of them, and he pushed me on the bed. Come on.
I think the difference with this one is there's more than one. In Megan's,
more than one 17-year-old.
Yes, Megyn Kelly was talking about there was other information that got leaked that he flew a couple girls up from Florida to New York and took them out to dinner, took them to Broadway shows, took them to the Fox station. I don't know if they were having a party or something like that.
Right.
And showed them a good time. And then Megan's like, well, the age of consent in New York is 17.
Right. So listen, you might be a scumbag, but you're not a criminal.
Hold on. Well, hold on. Why is he a scumbag?
Well,
he was 35 at the time.
That's okay. I don't know. It's kind of scumbaggy behavior.
So if I'm 90 years old and I want to, and I've got Nicole.
She wasn't 17 though.
Okay, it doesn't matter. But at this point, you're saying he's a scumbag because of the age variance.
He was also married.
Matt's married?
Yes.
Oh yeah, scumbag.
Oh, I didn't. Oh yeah, scumbag.
Well, I mean,
no, you're right. You're right.
I was just saying. Look,
I actually didn't know that. I thought he was a single guy, and I was calling him a scumbag.
No,
but you're right.
And
he's married.
Well, according to the lawyer, he made electronic payments to these girls, and he used either a PayPal or a Venmo of his adopted son.
So he was being shady. He was being shady.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys were talking about. I didn't hear the whole conversation because you guys usually tuck me in the back of the truck where I can't hear. But you guys were talking.
That's by design.
Yeah, I know.
Or blast the music.
Yeah, and so you guys were talking about how Matt Gaetz, he brags to his Senate, or to his colleagues about,
I think Chuck brought that up.
Yeah, about
how he did, and we don't see eye to eye to that either. I mean, look. I like to give people the benefit of the doubt. I think there's a time and place for everything.
Yeah.
I think that, you can talk about certain things in the workplace if the time fits. I mean, if you're...
I think it needs to be the right person.
Yeah,
the way Chuck explained it is he was just walking around the floor showing everybody.
Yeah, look who I banged last night.
That's a little different, and that's just his immature. Look, I think he is a scumbag now that he's married. I don't condone that at all. I think that's shitty. Now, if he's single and he's flying chicks up to New York so that he can have the potential to be intimate with them,
and they're of age, and
it's all
consensual.
No, wait a minute. I'm looking at this as Wikipedia. It says he's been married since 2021.
Oh, so he got married after all this happened.
Yes.
So he's not a scumbag. So he can be the Attorney General. Yes.
Well, look, I mean, that means a lot,
Actually, it does. I mean,
I don't think it's a big deal with the age variance because, look, if I'm 35, and I was at one point, so were you guys.
And you're a player.
Well, I mean, look, when you're 35, you're not much older than 30, and it's close to the 20s, and they look. I'm telling you, those girls can look 20, 25 years old easily.
Oh, yeah.
And if I'm 35 and you're banging a 25-year-old, come on, man, am I a scumbag for that?
And they're throwing themselves at you. I mean, come on. I mean,
I don't know.
I'm with you. I
don't know.
I said he's a scumbag, but I was, of course, joking. But
I'm not. I mean, if he was married, that's a shitty thing to do.
Right, of course.
By all means, that's a moral compass that it's not conducive to being in the Department of Justice.
Right.
The Attorney General. Period.
No, I get it. It's tough. We don't know all the details. It looks bad, and it's certainly not the way you would want this information to come out. Right.
I always felt this was going to be a tough one to get across the finish line. Him specifically, just because I've heard that there's a lot of folks in the Senate who don't really care for him.
He's not popular.
Yeah, and you need the confirmation to happen. So,
but why was he not popular? From what I understood, he wasn't popular because he was yanking the McCaffrey out, or what's his name, the Speaker of the House.
Oh yeah, he filed a motion or something,
and that's because he was being a shithead.
Right.
Yeah. Welcome to my computer.
I think. I think he calls people out, right? And
he does a good job at that.
He does a good job at calling people out, and I think he doesn't toe the line. And I actually think that's a good characteristic, right? He doesn't just, he's not just going to go along with what anybody says.
Right.
So whatever. But you're right. I do not think he's going to get.
He's going to be a tough one.
I don't think he gets.
I think there's going to be a few tough, and I think he's going to be the toughest.
Who's the next one that you think is going to be a tough one to get through?
I don't agree with him, but I think Pete's going to be a hard one to get through. I think he'd be great, but I think.
Yeah, he's wrote a couple books regarding the
DEI nature of the military,
the DEI, and also the generals that were in command that did a poor job.
Yeah,
when they were pulling out of Afghanistan, he kind of nailed it to the cross.
He called him out. Big time.
I mean, I don't know. How many years did he have? He said he's been in the military for 20 years.
20 years.
It's hard. You don't never know who's going to do a good job, who's going to do a bad job. You don't know.
Right.
So
the question is he? I know he got all the way to major, the rank of major, right? I mean, somebody said he was a lieutenant colonel, and I looked that up. He was not a lieutenant colonel; he was a major. But this is a civilian position, okay? And you have to be able to lead people. You got to be able to run departments, big, huge, Pentagon size departments.
Right.
So the question is, does he have the experience to do that? And apparently he's a huge military advocate, a veteran advocate,
big time,
and he has run organizations that are related to that.
Yes.
Is it enough experience to put him in charge of the Pentagon? I don't know the answer to that. But I think you're right. I think that's another tough one.
It'll be a tough one. I think Gaetz will be the hardest, and I don't see that one happening. I see Pete getting through, but it may be difficult because I think the military complex, the companies are going to lobby hard against him.
Oh yeah, and they have lots of sway.
They have lots of sway and power, so
they sure do.
It may be difficult to get him through.
What about Tulsi Gabbard? I think that's an easy one to get through.
I think so. I think the bullshit with her in Russia, that was made up by Hillary.
Seriously. That's such a weak...
Yeah.
It's a weak thing to try to pin on somebody.
And I saw a video of her shooting guns. She was on some course and she was wearing some yoga pants or something like that.
She's an attractive woman.
Yeah, and she was looking pretty badass.
Have you ever seen the pictures of her on a surfboard? She's from Hawaii.
Yeah, she's from Hawaii.
Yeah, so she is a badass chick.
Yeah, and the one I don't quite understand is the Kristi Noem one. I don't know where her experience is. I read on her, and she's a rancher.
Right.
Where does she have the knowledge? I know she's the governor of, was it South Dakota?
Yeah. Now this is for Homeland
Security, which runs the Secret Service,
right?
Which runs the border control or whatever that is, right?
Right.
And there's one other one that she'll be over the head of as well. That one has me scratching my head.
Okay.
It almost seems like it's
just from an experience.
Yeah, from an experience thing. It almost seems like that one is a you backed me up. Here's his position kind of thing.
Yeah, but that happens a lot. There are shipping off people to be the United Nations ambassador, for example. You've got to build up. I mean, that's what they did with Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton was sure the fuck not going to be ready to be. Where the hell does she get her presidency from? She had to go to be an ambassador or something like that first, and then she was a congressman.
She was a senator from New York.
And then she became a senator?
Yeah, but you know how shady that was? She's not even from New York.
I know.
And she's like, okay, I'm going to temporarily move to New York so I can become senator.
My point is that these are jobs where you go in and they're cookie cutter jobs.
Right.
It doesn't take a whole lot of job knowledge to run some of these things. The infrastructure itself kind of dictates, within reason.
She was Secretary of State and she was an awful one.
Well, but it's about the infrastructure.
Benghazi, right?
Yes, it was.
And plus there was all kinds of shady shit going on there. The transfer of those missiles, and then the missiles getting sold to somebody else.
So bad.
I mean, there was shady shit because there was shady shit going on. That's why it got ugly.
Yeah.
And then she tried calling out, that's because someone said the video. That was just a bullshit scenario. I mean, that whole time. I really dislike Hillary Clinton from that whole experience.
Oh, you're talking about Benghazi.
Yeah.
There was a protest. It was a protest that got out of control.
On a YouTube video.
Yeah, bullshit. And that was just so shady, the whole thing.
Did you watch that movie 13 Hours?
Yes.
Well done.
It made me mad.
Yeah, it should, because it was real. I mean, you couldn't go over there and save these guys.
Right.
And they're sitting there fighting for their lives. It's just like, dude, you know what? You can send a fucking C-130 from Germany over there and drop 500 fucking troops on those motherfuckers.
Yeah, and she was like, there was no way to get anybody there in time. There was none of the blah, no. It was all bullshit. The other movie that pissed me off was Black Hawk Down.
Yes.
Woo.
That was during...
Was Clinton.
Was that Clinton? Yeah.
Yes. That's when they wouldn't they wouldn't get them out or whatever.
Well, they crashed right in the middle of the city, right?
Oh, dude, that is one intense ass movie.
It is.
That's crazy. So another pick that I've been waiting for is the press secretary.
He just announced her.
Yeah, he just announced.
I know. I had been waiting for it.
Yes.
And this one's a no-brainer pick. I mean, people I don't think they know who she is, but her credentials are pretty good. I mean, keep in mind, that's a lower level position, but you still got to be good at it.
I don't know if it's lower level because, she's the voice of the administration.
Right. I just mean it's not like you're not in charge of an agency, right?
Well, true.
But yes, you got to be good at that job, right? And so she was his national press secretary for the campaign press secretary.
Right.
And did you know that she was the assistant press secretary behind McEnany? So she has the experience, no question about it. But she is the youngest press secretary ever. Yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing how she, this is so insulting to say, but I'm excited to have an adult back at the podium.
Yeah, I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be very interesting, contrasting her to what's in there now.
God, she's a train wreck.
Freaking JP, she's. I mean, they only put her in there. I feel bad for her, but at the same time, it's like, DEI hired. She's gay and black. Whatever.
I know.
She's pretty. She's smart, but at the same time, it's just like she's not quick on her feet, and she's emotional.
You know how old she is?
No,
I don't know.
She's in her 50s. She's 50, I think.
You're kidding me?
No.
I got to give her props.
Yeah.
She looks freaking amazing.
Corinne Jean-Pierre.
Are you sure?
She's born in 74, but puts her at 50 exactly.
She's 50.
That is really, really impressive because she is a good-looking woman.
Yeah.
No, she is.
I'd kick her out of bed.
Well.
Go make me a turkey sandwich.
That's so crazy. Yeah. She's 50 years old.
She looks very young. I
think.
Good
for her. She does look young.
You know what? Most black people do. I gotta tell you, man, the black people are they're blessed with looks of being young. They really are.
Yeah,
I mean, I know there's so many out there. Like there's some couple in my neighborhood, and I'm like, I cannot believe you're 70.
Right?
You look 50-5.
You're like, you look 17.
Now, white people, we age horribly.
I wonder if it's the level of melanin in the skin because we burn and I think black folks burn as well, or they just turn dark.
They do. Well, they do. No, I mean, but it changed. Yeah, it just makes.
Right, but I think that has something to do with.
But did they get sunburn? Like, ouch, it hurts.
That's a good question.
I don't even know.
You know, Ramel lived with us for 8 months, and I know that he put on suntan lotion because he didn't want to get too dark. It wasn't because he didn't want to burn like ow burn. So maybe they don't. I don't know.
I wonder if that.
Why don't you look that up?
Is a contributor.
Can black people have a sunburn?
I think that is what key is. I think the level of melanin impacts the aging, wrinkles and stuff like that.
I would believe
that's my theory anyway.
I would believe
I don't know if I'm right or not.
Yeah. So here we go.
Oh, this is in your search history now.
It is now.
Yes, black people can get sunburned. While darker skin tones are better protected from the sun than lighter skin, melanin, the pigment that protects us the UV rays, doesn't block 100% of the UV light. Hold on, it's got some more information down here. Let's check this out. According to the CDC survey, 9 to 13% of black men and women experience at least one sunburn a year. Symptoms of a sunburn are the same for all skin tones, but may be harder to see on the darker skin. Red, swollen, pain, blistering.
Oh wow!
So about 10% of the black population. I wonder what. I bet you're close to 95% of the white folk get burnt every year.
Every year? No. I mean, there's people are smart. They put on sunscreen.
I don't know.
I won't ever wear sunscreen. I think that stuff is poison.
Interesting. So you'd rather risk skin cancer than the poison in the sunscreen?
I think that the sun is up there for a reason, and I think that having a daily dosage of sun is healthy.
Yeah, no question. It generates vitamin D.
No.
Correct.
So, I mean, with my job, I got to go out in the sun for, an hour or two. I don't think that that's a bad thing.
No, I would say that's, hour two.
I know I have to because I've got history of skin cancer.
Right.
So I try to stay out of the sun. I have the long sleeve UV shirts that I wear.
Oh, yeah.
I try to wear a
I'm
hat.
starting to. I've got some blotches that are showing up. Fuck, I'm going to have to go to the dermatologist and look like you.
Yeah.
They're going to like zap, 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 zap. Oh, we got one over here. Zap, zap, zap.
If you are unwilling to wear sunscreen and you're in the sun a lot with your job, Sean, you absolutely need to be going to the dermatologist.
It doesn't take very long. I mean, they just look at you. They're like, that is...
And I don't think it takes very long for the skin to be impacted by sun either.
No, well, don't get me wrong. I get checked regularly.
Good.
Yeah,
Okay,
my Dr. Guy Culpepper, he checks me out. He looks at me on the, he looks, it was symmetric. There's like A, B, C, D kind of thing, and he kind of went through the whole list.
Good.
You got to look for these things. Now, he mentioned that, there's some dark spots on me that can't be lasered off. Accordingly, I'm going to get set up with a dermatologist, and they're going to zap some stuff off. I don't really know what that means.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I've got stuff on me that are, well, they call them maturity spots.
Warts?
No, they're not warts.
Oh.
Not vaginal.
Are they cis?
Cis warts?
Yeah, cis. No, just cis.
No, they're not cis. They call them maturity spots.
Oh.
I said you could call them age spots.
That's what they call zits?
Not zits.
Oh, they're not zits either?
No. But that's what you may have. They may be age spots. I know I have a couple of them.
Age spots.
I used to have one right here that she just went in there with a little X-Acto knife, went sliced it right off.
Good God.
So I was at a
Scalpel on an X-Acto knife.
I was at a wedding on Saturday, and it was for my middle son's. His
Congratulations, JD.
Yes, huge.
And what's his wife's name?
His wife is Avery.
Very good.
Anyway, so this was a wedding where I knew probably. I mean, I didn't know who I was going to know, right? I had no idea who I was going to know. We just kind of went, but I knew that. Families of families because they played, sports since they were little and all this kind of stuff.
Well, you knew your son.
Well, of course. But I'm talking about parents. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking about parents. And so I probably saw, 6 or 7 people that I hadn't seen in years and years and years.
Did you guys go and do shots real quick?
No, we didn't. And I hadn't seen them in probably, I want to say 10 years. And damn, everybody looked 15 years older. 20 years older.
Oh.
Do you think they're saying that about you?
Probably. I guarantee it.
I mean, I don't know.
No, I mean, trust me. I'm self-reflecting.
You've got the Go Fast gray stripes going up on the sides there.
Yeah. I mean, I did have one kid that's Dylan's age. He was like, oh my God, he saw Shelly and I, and he was like, you guys look exactly the same. I was like, I think he's full of shit, right? But I'm looking at people and I'm like, and then I'm saying, oh my God, how you doing? I'm talking to him and I'm like,
God, you look old.
Well, you don't say that, of course, but
Right.
I'm sure they thought the same thing about me.
Right.
I'm just saying, dude, we're aging.
Well, we are.
And we're showing it.
Everybody does it.
Absolutely. But it was sobering, a sobering moment for me to see all of them, how they're aging, and then for me to self-reflect, right? So Anyway, but it was a great wedding. It was out in Lampasas.
Yeah, down there in the hillish country.
Pretty, and the little venue that they had was awesome, and it was really a neat. It was a neat wedding. I enjoyed being down there.
Well, I think it's not official yet, but I think we're looking at June of 26 for Stephen and Camden.
Whoa! For the wedding.
Correct.
Nice.
Out in Napa.
Exciting.
So put it on your calendars the whole month. You just block
out the whole month.
I don't know the exact date, but it's in June, I believe. They picked the venue, so they had to lock in the date. I just don't know what it is.
Nice. All right. Anyway, but that was that's what we did on Saturday. And I was going to ask you guys one question. So there were 2 little towns, right? You're 10 minutes from the venue, either north or south. And there's 2 little towns, and we decided to spend the night, right? Because it's 3.5 hours away. And all they had was basically motels.
Oh, yeah.
How do your wives, will they not stay at a motel, or does it have to be, like internal room versus external room? Right?
My wife definitely likes the internal room.
Of course.
I mean, we've stayed
just from a safety perspective, right?
I mean, we stayed in the external room just because that's all there is.
Sometimes you have no choice.
My wife is 100% out.
She's a motel girl?
No. She's completely not a motel girl. No, 100% out.
I thought you meant outside facing room.
Oh, no.
She won't do it.
Completely out. No way, Jose.
So even if that was the only thing around, she'd be like, I'm staying in the car.
I'm driving all the way home.
And the funny thing is, every time we've stayed at a motel, if I know it, I didn't know it was. I didn't do enough research to figure out if it was. I just did the one with the highest stars, okay? And every time we stay at a motel, I bring my Glock with me. And so when we realized it's a motel, she goes, did you bring your Glock? And I'm like, no, it'll be fine. But I tell you what, it was recently renovated and the room looked amazing.
Right.
It was. I mean, usually you associate motels with totally shitty
No
ass
chalk
rooms.
lines.
Yeah, chalk lines and no
spatter.
No,
that was a motel. That was a disaster.
Oh, that was my read.
Well, down there in the hill country, you got these people that are investing and they're making these little boutique motels and setting up cabins on a few acres and shit like that. So there's these folks who are buying these little outfits and retrofitting them.
Right. It was nice. It was nice. I mean,
what town were you in?
We were in Burnett.
I don't know.
Burnett, Texas.
Well,
not very big. You can imagine.
I was texting my friend Roger the other day, letting them know we went to Ironroot. He's a big whiskey guy. He actually makes his own whiskey.
Oh, nice.
And he's down there in Blanco, Texas.
Okay.
And he said that we need to come down there for a weekend or something like that because there's 2 distilleries. What were they? Andalusia whiskey?
No, I've not heard of that one.
I've heard of it. I think they may have been at a whiskey festival that we went to.
Who is this again?
My high school. Well, I became friends with him in 3rd grade.
Nice.
He killed my bean plant. That's how I know this.
Bean plant? You growing pot?
Yes, it was a bean.
Wow.
Andalusia Whiskey Company produces fine handcrafted whiskeys in Texas Hill Country.
Yeah.
A scene reminiscent of the hills in the beautiful Andalusia, Spain. Each whiskey being grained to glass, we begin with the mash of the finest American-grown malted copper stills. Very good. Moving on. Have you seen these?
Let's scroll down a little bit. One more. Keep going. In Blanco. There you go. Blanco, Texas.
Yeah, Blanco. He says it's right down the street from him.
Okay, and so there's another distillery.
He says it's real ale, so that must be a brewery.
Oh, it should be.
Yeah.
All right. So what's the draw? It's just a nice area, cool little towns.
Yeah. I said, is there any hotels down there? He's like, yeah, there's a couple hotels, and there's
motels.
There's a place that has little cabins and RV that you can rent. So
nice. That would be fun.
Yeah. So anyway. If we ever want, plus then we could hit a couple others while we're down there as well.
Yeah,
we say this all the time.
I know, but we know someone down there.
So
you have a big enough house for all of us?
So is it
I have
near?
No idea. I've never been there.
Let's see here. Is that near?
It's west of
Austin.
It's southwest of Austin.
Southwest of Austin.
Yes.
And how close to? Because we would love to go to Rebecca Creek.
Look up Blanco,
but that's all the way down in San Antonio. I don't know if that's it.
It could be within driving.
Interesting.
Blanco, yeah.
We definitely need to spend a weekend where we, where we go on a Texas bourbon tour.
Yeah.
All right. So it looks like Blanco is, east of Fredericksburg, which is.
Oh, then we could hit.
Garrison
could hit Garrison Brothers.
Holy shit! It is just north of Rebecca Creek.
Yeah.
There you go.
We could hit Andalusia. We could hit Garrison. We could hit Rebecca Creek.
And we can go down on a boat down New Braunfels River, man. You could jump off the side.
That might not be a good idea. This time he won't come up.
That's where the hate started, right there.
That's like that fucker.
Probably.
I just figured it out.
So speaking of distilleries, you guys went to Ironroot on Saturday.
We did. It was their 10th anniversary.
Yeah.
It was me, Sean, and Chuck.
The Chuckster.
Yeah, I could, you guys, I swear to God, you plan these things when you find out I have somewhere to do.
We did.
10 years ago, we said you need to open on this date because in 10 years from now, Paul's going to be out of town and we want to be there.
At a wedding. I knew it. It's
so
amazing.
we Jackie Mack shared a link with us, and she was like, hey, you guys ought to come down and come visit for a little bit. And we went down there. We got there, and the parking, of course, the place is packed, and
it's not a big place.
It's not a lot of parking there, and we came in. The first thing we did is got a raffle ticket. Fuck, man, raffle ticket gathering ended at 2:00. We walked in like right before that.
Right,
it's like great timing. So we got a raffle ticket, and we kind of like looking around. So you walk into the big foyer. It's probably about 25 foot by 100 foot. So it's a nice big open front room because we've been in there before.
Sure.
And it's packed in there because they've got on the left and right. On the right side, they're serving drinks where you could purchase out of a tap, an old fashioned or something like that.
$12 tapped old fashioned. Yes.
Yeah. And on the left,
did you guys stampede over there?
Chuck got one.
We did not. Chuck he went up there and picked up one. And I did the math real quick, and I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that because fuck that. So I ended up buying a bottle of bourbon there, but their sleight of hand rye, 96 proof, and nice and simple, easy, not super heavy. And I bought that bottle, and I picked up the badass bottle of Icor. The Icor.
ICHOR.
Icor.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
It's got to mean something.
ICHOR.
ICHOR.
Or is it Itchor?
It's got to be Itchor.
Itchor?
Itch or something. Itch or.
I don't know what it means.
Well, I would look up the word itch or first, because it's probably not going to tell you on this thing, but maybe it will.
Yeah, what's the definition of Icor? Or I don't even know how you say it.
I know. Now we're going to have to do a pronunciation. Ichkar.
The fluid that flows like blood in the veins of the gods.
Whoa.
Wow.
All right.
Icor.
Icor.
I like mine better.
The fluid.
Ichor.
Ichor.
Icor.
Or a watery discharge from a wound.
Ooh,
oh, God.
Gross. Why would you want to drink that?
I'm sure they mean the first one.
Jeff, you have some
Icor
dripping off your arm.
Yes.
Yeah, I like your Icor Ironroot.
Well, the Greek mythology is the fluid that flows like blood in the veins of gods. What does it say? Archaic is a watery discharge from a wound.
Yeah, we're going to go with the first one.
Yes.
All right, so Icor Ironroot.
Icor.
Yes, thank you, Sean.
But we had an extremely small sample of it. Sean had 8, I think.
No, hold on.
Somehow.
Well, how do you do that? You just want to get back in line,
get
back in line? How's that work?
Well,
They're like, sir,
we
you
were
can
all
only
around.
have
There was guys. Two people were walking around with these trays. Then here's a little sample. One had the I, one had the P. I think I don't recall what was on the other one. We got our sample set at the table, and I was like, God, I'm parched. So I walked over, grabbed us each a glass of water. How nice of me, man! Grabbed us each a nice big tall glass of ice cold water, and I came back on the way back. The guy's like, "Did you get a sample yet?" I was like,
well, no, I did not.
No,
I did not. Well, thank you. I didn't know you could rinse samples.
And you're like, is this Icor?
Is this Ichor? Wound discharge?
And they're like, oh my God.
Not again. You're one of those guys.
Here, you want to know?
I recognize you. You're from the Dudes Like Us podcast, aren't you? You're looking at my pants. No, right. So I grabbed I had 2. So everyone else had 1 sample each. I had 2 samples because I'm special.
Yes, you are.
Yeah. So at that time, Chuck had drank half the bottle, and Jeff had a nice large pouring, and I had a couple. I pounded out a couple too, man. Yeah. I had a nice big fat one, and I didn't really drink until I got in the car. Once I got in the car, I started drinking out of the bottle.
Yeah, he tilted it up.
You were or Chuck were?
I did.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
And then he had to urinate.
Oh my God!
Well, and it has to be the right bathroom.
No,
he was beyond that.
Yeah, look,
didn't matter.
Look, I tell you, man, I have never had to pee. I don't recall ever having to pee as bad as I did. We were literally not far from the house. We were within a mile from our house, and I could not wait.
I can't make it.
The seams of my bladder were stretched. I mean, it was just like it was painful to get out of the car to go into the bathroom. I was tiptoeing, tears coming out.
He had the pee walk.
Yeah, it was
bad.
It was bad. And when I get in there, it was like a fire hose that someone lost control of. It was like,
yeah, but it's like,
oh yeah,
it's probably like orgasmic.
Oh
yes, yes, nice.
Yeah, it was actually. I was in there for what, 2 minutes?
That's actually, you're pretty quick about it. It must have been just your pee hole must have been huge.
I've got a rather girthy urinary tract. It just
about like a nickel.
Then it did become Icor.
Oh.
Yes.
Well, I mean, it's not the shaft isn't that big. It's just my urination. Your tract is huge. It's like when I pee, it's just a volumes come out at a very fast pace.
I was referring to fluid from a wound.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No.
Not fluid from the gods.
Yeah. Well,
right.
Anyway, it was very uncomfortable. But anyways, we got home, and by the time I got home, the bottle was gone.
So the picture you guys saying you were sitting in like some sort of backyard.
Oh yeah, that was nice. Chuck found
It was
What
nice.
was
So
that?
Chuck was venturing around because he had to go pee-pee. He did the right thing. He went pee-pee there. So he went in the back and, past the tasting area where we were at. He went all the way in the back, and then there's like a little side door, and he was like, hey, what's going on? The door was open, and it's like some nice green turf back there. Oh, this is kind of cool.
It's a nice patio furniture.
What the hell? Were you allowed to be back there?
Well, that's what I was suggesting.
Oh,
But,
wow.
we were back there, and there was some staff. They were back there. It looked like their little break room kind of thing. It's a nice little area.
Yeah. So we
Was
hung
he-
out there for about an hour and a half.
Was Chuck peeing on the fence? I mean, did he?
He hiked a leg. Yes.
Yeah, well, you said he did it right. He peed there.
No, there's a bathroom right over there.
Oh,
In fact, so you can go. You walk into the side from the outside area. You walk in and you go left to go to the general area where you're supposed to be.
Sure.
You go right and it goes further into the employee area. And Chuck goes in there and then to the right. And he says, no, there's another bathroom over here. And he's like, yeah, but that's not the. So Chuck goes in. That's funny, man.
What the hell, man? He just made himself at home.
He's like,
No one said
by the
anything.
way, are these your crackers?
Yeah. Yeah. Whose locker is this?
Hey, is this your
cheddar.
bottle?
Wow.
little spray whiz cheese here.
He went behind the bar and helped
Can I
himself.
use your vape? God.
I hope you don't mind. I use some of your butt wipes.
No, but it was nice because we sat out there about an hour and a half, didn't we?
Yeah, it was comfortable because we were like, we got there and we're kind of like, at that point, dude, we did everything we want to do in fucking 45 minutes.
Yeah.
All right, everyone's like, yeah, we're done.
Including downing a whole bottle.
No,
Well-
we got that because we wanted to wait until the next.
Now, I got
Drawing.
that bottle because I wasn't dropping $12 to get a drink. And I'm like, fuck, if I drop $12, if I get one drink, I'm going to get two. And if I get two,
Then I
we
might as well buy a bottle.
we might as well, because the two each, I figured, we'd split it up, and it's like,
What did you buy a bottle of?
it was the Sleight of Hand Rye, 96
Oh, that's
proof.
right. You said
Which
that.
was a blend of Ironroot and Kentucky and Ohio and Indiana.
Yeah, it was
Right.
nice. It was
Yeah?
very
Tasty?
easy drinking. Very
It was
easy
easy.
drinking.
Jackie Mack did not like it.
96 proof.
She didn't like it. And you know
So
what?
she was hanging out with you guys the whole time, pretty much?
Not the whole time.
Not the whole time. In fact, we were challenged to get her from the table that she was at to come and visit us. And I was sitting her. She was like, "Hey, where'd you guys go?" And so I sent her a text, and then she goes unanswered. And finally, I have to call her. She was like, "I don't give a shit about you guys." No, she didn't say that, but she did come by our table where we were sampling it. And she says, "You know what? It tastes like cardboard." And I was like, "It does taste like cardboard. It tastes like wet
Really?
paper." Yeah, it was kind of interesting. After she said that, it's kind of ruined it. But
Right.
Interesting. All right. So you finished that. You didn't finish the bottle there.
No. Sean finished. There's probably, I don't know, 3 or 4 inches left in there.
good Lord.
Or more than that.
Mm-mm.
No.
Wow.
Sorry, I just pulled like a big pull this sample that we're about to do. No, it was an inch and a half, 2 inches. It was down at the very bottom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because
I know Chuck was pouring a lot. I saw you pour some, and
Just straight into.
oh yeah, we're not mixing it.
Yeah.
we had little water cups.
I figured.
It's 96
Yeah.
proof. It's like tea.
And then
No.
we stayed for and we had all kinds of tickets. Sean got some tickets from.
Yeah, there was some. So
folks.
Sam Peavy House was there. He used to be married to my wife's cousin, and they're no longer married. So Sam was there.
Yeah. I
And
remember Sam.
Sam was there fucking 7:00 in the morning. Good for him, man. He was camped out, did a little tailgating. They had some what's it called? Food. There's food.
Did you
There's barbecue.
know he was going to be there? Or
No,
totally
not at all. It was a
surprised you?
complete
not at all.
surprise. We
Oh,
get in there.
that's-
He's like, "Hey, how you doing?" You could tell he's been there at 7.
He's like, "Where were you guys?"
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
We
I
were
got here at
sleeping.
7.
I was like, God damn. But you know what? He won one of the bottles for the lottery.
Yeah, triple cask or triple
Yeah.
barrel.
Yeah, it was hazmat.
Nice.
So it was an excellent find. So good for him. Good for Sam. Period. He's got a lot of great things going for him, and I'm glad he went out there. And I learned he plays Pokemon, so I started playing Pokemon with him now.
Oh.
Yeah. For those people out there that like to play Pokemon, reach out to me.
So grown men do that?
Absolutely, 100%.
What the hell?
Oh, dude.
Is this Pokemon Go?
Yeah, it is. I have it on my phone, and I actually have kind of fun with it. When I travel, it's kind of cool to see some of the different areas where you got these different Pokestops. I try to collect them, and I compare them to my kids when I get home. I'm like, look how many I have.
I don't understand it. I never have understood Pokemon Go. So
It's 100%
so it's a map.
retarded.
It's a map with little Pokemons on it, and you drive to it, and then you
Fight it.
fight like Mortal Kombat?
Yes.
No, there's whatever. Actually, that is true. There's some of that is true, but those are at the Pokestops. But I'm not going to get into the dynamic of it because at the end of the day, it's fucking stupid. It really is. It's retarded. But
it was insanely popular.
Oh, yeah, it was.
It swept the globe.
Yeah, it was, and that's kind of when it started for me. And I was playing with the kids, and I was taking them all out, and that was kind of our thing. We'd go out and do Pokemon. So I had my account, and I still continue it because I have a bunch of rare ones. And then when I travel, there are certain Pokemon that are regional. They're only in that area. So when I went to New York, New Jersey, I was finding all these, and I come back, take a little snapshot. Hey, man, look what I found.
Do they still do it too? Your kids?
Yeah. Not as much, but they still do it.
Well, when the whole thing launched, didn't it cause a bandwidth issue with the service providers?
It consumes a lot of bandwidth.
I thought it
did. And they dumbed it down a bunch because it was way too much. It was a battery drainer.
Right.
Literally.
I remember that too.
It's like, it wasn't even fun anymore because you go out for an hour and it's like, I showed up, it was 100%. I am literally at 40 right now, and I've been here for an hour. What the hell?
So I don't want to get into too much detail, but is it like a scavenger hunt?
Somewhat. You kind of, because these Pokemon are there. You can't see them, but you walk around. The idea is the Pokemon's, first of all, it's been around forever, but the game itself, the spirit of it, part of it was to get kids out.
Okay.
And walk. So you have to walk because they have challenges. How far did you walk? So with
interesting. There's nothing wrong with that.
No,
get
so
people, get kids to be active.
We go to Friendship Park in Frisco, Texas, and you start on the trail and you walk all the way around. And there's probably 30 different Pokestops out there.
Nice.
And you hit the Pokestop and you spin the little thing and you get a little bonus. Hey, you traveled this far so much. Now keep going, and you find and you say, hey, there's a lurking Imperial Dragon or Pikachu or whatever the fuck they're called. I don't even know. I made all that up. But
so it's a hiking app.
It's just it's
a fancy GPS.
Right.
It's a cool GPS. I mean, it does work. I mean, as far as you can tell exactly where you're at. It's just fun. Whatever.
It's
I don't recommend it for everybody. I'm doing it because I started with the kids, and now I'm just kind of like everyone where I go, I kind of open it up. Even when we go out to do our Friday thing, we're at a little bar, I'll open up the Pokemon. Are there any stops around here? And I'll grab it real quick because you get little coins, all kinds of weird shit.
Interesting.
Oh my god, I get and I collect. I have like. Whatever.
Do you have ranks? Are you like ranked number 1? Or?
They're levels. I don't know, ranks equals levels. They're just levels,
Can you trade it in for like stuffed animals or licorice?
You can't do jack shit with any of that
or
stuff.
Or like spin tops?
Like Chuck E. Cheese tickets?
It's not like Chuck E. Cheese tickets. But it's what you can't trade with your friends. So if you and I are really good friends and you can like if you're my friend on Pokemon, we could send each other what they call gifts.
Ooh.
Just random gifts.
And they're not dick pics or anything like that.
No. They're in fact, you don't even know what they are. It just says gift. You send it, I open it up. It's usually like some revive and some potions and shit like that, which I don't even know what the fuck those are for. But I just I just store them on them. I don't care. And but when you do that, you become friends, good friends, great friends, and then best friends. And when you become best friends, you can trade.
Then sexual partner.
Yeah, weird friends.
Yeah, it becomes very colloidal. Yeah. No, there's like you become best friends. You can trade your Pokemon at that point, and so it's kind of when you trade them, it's like. You got one of your best ones. You send them over to your buddy, and they send you your best ones. It's the whole thing is gay as hell.
Yeah,
but
I love it.
Yep,
love it. It's fun.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about this Milam green that we're toasting.
Let's do it.
This is we haven't had this in probably 3 years.
Wow, that long ago, huh?
I bet this is one of the first ones we got.
Well, first of all, shout out to Marsha Milam. Thank you for. Is this the one she gave us? She gifted us?
No, that's the rye that's out there.
I probably would have liked that one better. This one, I gotta tell you, man, it is 90. What is it? 96.
90.
It is 94.
94. And I tell you what, it's got a lot of flavor to it.
It really does.
I was very surprised on my first sip that how much flavor it had for 94. Because we're used to the stronger stuff, right?
It is a blend.
Yeah, it does taste good.
It's a triple case and a blend of straight bourbon whiskeys. Yeah.
Yeah, this is. I picked up. I wrote one down when I picked up sarsaparilla.
Sarsaparilla, kind of like a root beer style.
Root beer, yeah.
Right.
I could see that happening.
I picked some of that up.
That's the vanilla, the fruit, and the combination of the caramel, vanilla, and dark fruit kind of sarsaparilla flavor, huh?
Right. Yeah, I picked that up. And on the nose, I picked up a lot of maple. It's not very sweet, but it's sweet.
It's elegant. It's got notes of vanilla, florals, and spice going on there.
I don't pick up any spice, but I pick up the sweetness, the maple, the sarsaparilla, and the red fruits.
Interesting. Red fruits.
It's got a very medium warm finish.
Isn't sarsaparilla what you get when you leave raw chicken out too long?
Similar, yes.
No?
I don't think, though. I think that's when you walk into an old Western bar. It's like, I want a sarsaparilla.
What am I thinking of?
Yeah.
Salmonella.
Oh, yeah.
That's like botulism. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I got. I got salmonella when I...
Sarsaparilla is a root.
Yeah.
So the palate, when it's going through your mouth, it's a creamy, it's soft, flavors of caramel, vanilla, oak, dark fruit, and a touch of sweetness. Milam and Green, the triple cask bourbon whiskey. It's a blend of the 3 straight bourbons aged in different types of barrels across 3 states. The mash bill for both Texas and Kentucky distillates is 70% corn, 22 malted rye, and 8% barley.
Well, this is interesting. It's distilled in Tennessee and Texas. So this is a blend of Tennessee and Texas whiskeys.
Nice.
Because I don't think, at least at the time, she didn't distill her own stuff. So I wonder if this is Dickel juice.
Oh, maybe.
And I don't know who the Texas one is, where she got it from.
Probably MGP.
That'd be Indiana.
Oh, well, does Milam and Green make their own distillate?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think it's a non-distiller producer. But I like this a lot.
So according to the tag that's on there, it says it's the 2018 double gold winner at the San Francisco World of Spirits competition. Double gold. And I'll tell you what, it's tasty.
It's very tasty. So to answer that question, yes, Milam Green does distill their own whiskey, primarily in Blanco, Texas, using copper pot stills.
Milam Green, we can visit that.
But also utilizes a contract distilling in Bardstown Bourbon Company in Kentucky with a traditional column still, meaning they both source and distill their own whiskeys depending on the product. Essentially, blending different distillates from various sources to create their finished blends.
So the Texas is from them, and then this says Tennessee, so it wasn't Bardstown at the time. This is several years old.
Yeah, it is.
But it's also a blend of 3. So
it is.
It is. It says triple cask. Sorry, it's a blend of 3 different whiskeys. Now, if you only read that it's Tennessee and
it's on the back. It's
on the back. A triple cask bourbon here. Let's see here. Each bottle triple cask is batched 3 hand-selected straight bourbon whiskeys from 3 states. A premium Texas bourbon made in a 300-gallon pot still, for a pop of spice. Married with Kentucky whiskey made in the continuous column still for vanillas. Fruits sourced with vintage Tennessee for structure and tannins. Our master distiller, Marlene Holmes, and our whiskey team distill in both Blanco, Texas, and Bardstown, Kentucky. And again, the mash is still the same: 70 corn, 22 rye, and 8% barley. And
it said 3 states, so it must be Kentucky, Texas, and Tennessee.
Yeah, so we need more information on what they're doing, because the way that it's phrased there is they're distilling, or Marlene is actually going to Bardstown to distill.
Right.
I don't know if that's correct or not. Maybe she's going up there to pick some specific.
So the SRP on this is less than $50. It's $46.99 listed on here, which is a great price point for those people out there that enjoy a easy to drink whiskey bourbon. This is fantastic,
especially with the richness.
This is
really good.
This is rich. It's for 94 proof. It's rich. It's sweet. It's got some really great flavors, I think.
I agree.
All right, gentlemen, let's go ahead and tally up our score. I'll go ahead since I'm starting it. I'm going to give this one, I'll mind our dudes like us listeners out there. We have several different versions of our grades. It's 1 through 10, and we break them down into decimals. And, we also have different categories. There's like from 80 to 90 or 80 to 100, something like that. And then 100 to 115. Proof. And then 115 to,
proof.
And then 115 to 125-ish. And then 125 to hazmat,
So whatever, yeah.
So this would be the lowest category of proof, right?
Yeah. So for that, and the reason why I bring that up is because the higher proofed items typically have a more pronounced taste, which makes this one unique because it's a lower proof and those tastes are still poking through.
They really are.
Right. So before you give your thing, now remember we had the Michter's 10 that we're going to be comparing this to.
Because that was what proof?
That was 94, I believe.
Okay, so same proof.
Yeah. And we gave that, I think, a high 8, if not a 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, I took a nice big...
This isn't quite that level, but it's damn good for 94 proof.
It's really good.
Well, I want to say I would buy this bottle again. And I don't say that a lot. So, highly recommended. Highly recommended, really. In fact, I think
agree.
I'm going to include this in my collection. I really will. When I was first tasting, I was like, I'm not really sure. I took a couple large swigs right now because, guys, we fill up. I did full 2 ounce on this, and I added a little bit extra love in there because we deserve it. I'm going to give it a 7.3. I'm going to give it a 7.7.
All right.
I mean, given that we were high 8s for the Michter 10, I can't go less than an 8. On this one, I would give it an 8.0.
I'm about 7.5. What did you give it? You
say what?
7.7.
7.7.
7.7. About 7.5.
Yeah, I mean, I think this deserves to be in the 8 category. I mean, I know there's a difference between 8.9 and 8.0.
So for our listeners out there,
for a 94 proof, this is an 8.0.
We don't less than 1%. Is going to hit the 8 mark.
Right.
Just for those listeners out there.
Yeah.
If it's between 7.5 and 8, it's exceptional.
Right.
If it's from 8 and up, it's beyond exceptional. Milam and Green, this is great. So you have a great product here. It's highly endorsed by Dudes Like Us podcast.
Yeah,
it is. It's outstanding. Well done.
I'm in.
And it's in Blanco, Texas.
God bless.
We need to plan it.
We do.
Stop dicking around.
Oh,
and now is a good time for me to go because I ain't got shit going on from work. Let's go. Let's go tomorrow.
My wife's out of town.
No, I got to go to Wichita Falls tomorrow.
For a claim that you don't have.
I'm doing assist, so technically it's not mine.
You got to work even though you can't claim it. That sucks. Anyway, well done, Milam and Green. This is one we need to visit.
I agree. So what I would like to do, you had a video queued up.
I did. And it was the young lady Caroline Claire Levette that Donald Trump appointed for office
for press secretary.
So I had as soon as I could find it.
I would like to know more about her. I have actually never seen a video of her. I've never seen her in action. But you guys were saying she's an ass kicker.
Yeah, she is. She's well spoken.
That doesn't surprise me because Trump is going to pick somebody who can hold their own as press secretary.
Yeah. All right, so what I'm about to play right now isn't really the full thing. Jeff brought up something about how she manhandled one of these reporters. Now, she's what, 28?
She's 27.
She's 27? Wow. All right. So
she is the youngest. She will be the youngest press secretary ever.
Okay, so hold on a second. There we go.
Adolf Hilter.
Ma'am, I'm going to...
Right. Well, first of all, it takes someone 5 minutes to Google Jake Tapper, Donald Trump, to see that Jake Tapper has consistently
stop this interview if you're going to keep attacking my colleagues.
Adolf Hilter.
Ma'am, I'm going to stop this interview if you continue to attack my colleagues.
CNN anchor abruptly ended an interview with Trump campaign spokesman Caroline Levette ahead of the first presidential debate. Just whatever. Let's see here.
Talk about thin skin. You're gonna attack my colleague. I won't even stand for that. Really? And they and what they say? Are you kidding me?
Welcome. come back.
In the past.
Okay.
Now,
I'm sorry, guys. We're going to come back out to the panel. Caroline, thank you very
much. They're just going to keep doing that thing. I wish I could find it, but we don't know exactly. Well, anyways, there was more on there. I don't know if this is by design that Google likes to like suppress this kind of stuff, but you know, I'm thinking it is.
They don't want us to find something good about her.
But for being such a young age, and I will tell you, there's a lot of this is not going to come out well, what I'm about to say.
Boy.
I just want to say that there's a lot of women out there that are born fighters. They have the gift of the gab, not of the gab, but of the gab attack. These women are malicious. You got Tommy Lauren. What's her name?
Laren.
Tommy Laren.
Tommy Laren.
With from Fox News. She's a freaking cannon.
She's badass.
She will rip somebody up one side and down the other and just make you look like shit. And this young lady, Caroline, is just like that because she totally handed them facts and they didn't like to hear the facts. They were like, oh, we're going to school this little 27-year-old.
Right.
Yeah, but not today.
I remember when Tommy was with the Blaze.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, now, was she was independent before she got signed on to the Blaze, and then the Blaze, after the Blaze, she went to Fox News. I mean, she has like a stratospheric, climb.
She got such a. I mean, look, I enjoy hearing these women just go to town. I mean, it's like what my friend Brian says, doing the Lord's work, going out there bitch slapping these people into submission.
Sure. You know what? So another one that she's really fallen off because I think she got kind of wrapped up in anti-Semitism, but it was what's her name? The
Candace Owens.
Yes, Candace Owens. What happened to her?
She kind of fell off because she said something.
She was attacking the Israel and the Jewish people.
And she got. I don't know if she
what
got.
was she saying?
I don't know. I don't know if she got canned from
Daily
Wire, whatever that was.
Yeah, Daily Wire.
Or she quit, but that whole thing fell apart. She's been fairly, at least
quiet.
in my eyes,
well,
been fairly quiet.
Right here says Jeremy Boring announced Owens would be leaving the Daily Wire on March 2024, a move believed to be related to a string of comments considered to be anti-Semitic, culminating in Owens like a tweet referencing blood libel. Since June 2024, she has produced her own podcast independently. So I will tell you that that's all bullshit because she, of all people, is not an anti-Semitic person.
I don't know, but
I do.
But there's been no rebuttal to it.
Yeah, because she doesn't give a shit. Basically, she was bumping heads with Ben Shapiro.
Yeah,
and
she was.
It didn't go very well because Ben makes a lot of money, and he's got a little pull on that station. And good for them. I'm happy. I like Ben, but I really enjoy Candace Owens. She's got her shit together.
She's one of those people you described.
Yeah,
like an ass-kicking firebrand.
God bless.
Whatever.
The Lord's work. Yep.
Yeah.
All right, November 19th. It's the week before Thanksgiving. I don't know about you, but I've got Christmas music. I've watched Elf movie twice this week.
I haven't
seen any Christmas stuff yet.
I posted on Facebook. I even did the National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Good for you.
Yeah, I'm excited, man.
So it's not going to be like past years where fuck it.
You know what? I've changed my mind. That was regarding like presents and stuff. This time, I'm just giving them cash. They can go fucking do what they want. I'm going to give them cash. They can give me my money back.
Well, that's kind of where I'm at with our kids, where the age they are.
It's tough to buy them gifts.
Yeah, it is. I got them a couple things, but it's going to be, here's a check.
Yeah.
Go do what you want.
And that's so boring, I know, but whatever.
It is. But that's why I'm getting a couple things, right?
These are things that dudes like us go through.
Yeah,
Dudes Like Us, I'm Sean.
I'm Paul.
And I'm Jeff.
Check us out on Dudes Like Us podcast on Facebook and Instagram. And we'll be back in a few moments.
Hey, and make sure you follow us on Spotify.
Smash it. Smash that button.
Yes.
Tickle it.